Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear? Can you hear? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear? If it is okay, then we will continue within around 3 minutes. Okay? Yeah. Please come and check about the signal if it is clear. Hello, hello. Yeah, today we have the topic, okay? We have the topic related to the real-time material editor. And we will come in within 1 minute, but this kind of quick webinar will tell you some useful tips. I will not just give you all the detail about how to use that from the very beginning, and but here we can share some of the useful tips for you, especially for some common material that we daily using and for the design. So you can know some of the adjustment methods. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fine for you, right? Yeah, the signal should be fine. Okay, we will just directly get started within 30 seconds. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome to the course. So today is Jackie still here, and today we are going to talk about this topic, yeah, with the real-time material editor. And I believe some of you already tried this function, right? This function is especially for our daily design tool and especially for those elements, the materials, sometimes texture. But moreover, now we have also have the way to control with the paving methods. So today I'm going to tell you some of the useful tips while we talk about these useful tools. And also you can turn back and try afterwards. Yeah. So just a quick, brief introduction, and we directly go to the tool. Okay. So talking about this kind of a tool, I believe most of you already tried that function, and maybe some of you confused about how to change the material or some of the basic index that how it reflects what's the difference. So today I'm going to show you as well. So before that, just take a first look, okay? So here I am now showing you with the backstage this adjustment. This is the interface. And the quick way, actually the official way to have that, you can either use the enterprise catalog, for example, product, and here we do have, for example, the texture. Yeah, for this texture, is the main entrance way. You can get a new material here. This is enterprise. But for personal using, you can also use it. For example, for the personal library, you see, actually, we do have a kind of a texture uploading. So when you click that, wherever you go, okay, this will really matters about where your material, your refined material locates. Sometimes maybe if you use the enterprise catalog, if you have the authorization to be as the model manager, so then you can use it. It's not only for yourself to using, but for all the whole team. So in enterprise catalog is different from the personal library, but after all, you all have this, okay? You all have this real-time material editor, and then you can click to use. So this time I can just show you some of the basic. For example, click the real-time, okay? If you use this one, it is it also allows you to upload, but it's only for some fixed pictures. So most of the time, we suggest you can use that. And once you click anything, still there will have a kind of option for you to choose as the real-time material editor. So actually, the final, okay, the final destination will always turn back to this real-time material editor. And then you can see, actually, we have so many format. It will allows us to choose. Okay, most of the time we suggest you can choose from the very beginning rather than some, for example, to do the adjustment from everything blank or use the blank template. You don't have to do that. You just need to select. So today I also give you some of the useful tips with some of the material. So just follow the order from the left side. Okay, those template, for example, for the wood board or for some, for example, like the stones. Okay, this will turn to the first thing. For example, we sometimes do need this kind of uploadings, and sometimes of course you have some more local material, the profiles that you want to upload, but you don't know how to do as some kind of such kind of combinations, even with some, the bumpings. So if you don't know that, today I'm going to tell you the first thing. Okay, the first uh, segment of the catalog, for example, board and stone. So here, just pay attention about that. So first, from the very beginning, you can select, for example, here we have this board, okay, all is everything here. Of course, you can search for the name, but sometimes you might not able to find a very precise solution or precise names. You can just select the catalog. For example, board, and then you can see they are also more like the varnished, polished, or matte materials. What you need to do is just to, for example, to select. Okay, first to find the similar, maybe not exactly the same, but you need to find out the similar materials. Then you can use, for example, to click. Okay, that's the different catalog. For example, you can just searching for like the matte, polish, or anything. You just need to select, and then here, just pay attention. In the middle, we have this kind of distinct ball, material balls. Okay, the sphere allows you to directly check. Also, the lights coming from the upper left side. You can see some of the basic lights. If I select the other thing, it may be more obvious for you to see. You see, we already have the light and also the entire environment ambience. So once you click here, we have the render. It will get a quick render, but just pay attention that here for the changing result, why we call it the real-time material, is because whatever you adjust, you choose anything, you just changing something, you see actually the result will immediately to be seen here. And even for the render, you can just take a quick look. Now it will turn to also the same solution, you see. So just pay attention about this real time. And also you can see here we got the sphere. Some of you never have that chance to see this one, but actually it's very important because the different showing models will allow you to check. For example, sometimes we have like the panel models with for the fabric, or if you for everything you can check about the square, the square as well. So for example, for wood, okay, for the board here is wood. So you can select the panel for the priority, but also just pay attention, board is some patterns. Okay, if you're really talking about, for example, for the floorings, so you'd better check about here. Okay, this is the flooring, but also the flooring frequently it will relate it to the paving methods. So later I will show you something. Okay, it's also related to real-time material editor, but still it's in the paving. Yeah, the paving settings. So later I will show you it's nothing, okay? It's just a piece of cake. So first for the board, select, and here also you can change the scene. Yeah, don't forget this one because it will show directly with the proper solution. For example, is it for the ceiling? Is it for the furnishing? Is it for the for example, the wall decors? You can select the proper one and then just retry. And of course, once you select that here, just pay attention. We have several, okay, several functions that allows you to do the modification. So first thing here, I would like to show you here is some preset. For example, for the setting, yeah, this function, I believe seldom of you already taken notice because here is something like the recent months updating. Yeah, it's the thing to bump map because from the very beginning of this real-time material editor, some of you already said, yeah, I know uploading, I know to change for diffuse. For example, diffuse is just a picture. It refers to the pictures, right? So if you upload, for example, here I have some of the basic, okay? Let's say here some basic wood patterns. So you can click, of course, you can open that and then pay attention. From the before, like several months before, if you upload here, then you can have the seamless stitch. Yeah, this is kind of a function that can frequently be used, especially for the pattern connections. For example, the now the showing is, you see, because it's not a seamless stitch, you can see a very distinct boundaries. You see here, yeah. Of course, if your pattern or your profile of the material is already settled with the third party, let's say like the Photoshop, for example, or the other methods that you already build out the seamless stitch, you'd better just stay with that. But if you don't, and then you still take this into very serious consideration, even with the bumping, okay, with the bumping patterns, then you can consider these two things. Okay, first, here we got okay the bump map sync to that in the setting, and the second, of course, seamless stitch. So you'd better here when you do the uploading. Let's say now I just renew that. Okay, I do it again, but this time setting activate this one, sync to bump map. And also here we got the map resolution. It's up to your choice. If you put your mouse there, you can see some you can read out some detailed sentence describing how it work and what is the function means. So you can also use this one, for example, not only to activate this one, but also to map resolution. For example, you can choose, okay, lower or higher. It's due to your laptop or due to your calculation ability, your device calculation ability. Most of the time, we suggest it's just fine for using this. Yeah, unless you really insist to have a higher resolution, you can select that. Yeah, all this settle with the default status. Okay, just these two, just pay attention. And then here, you can of course upload. So you can see we have actually two different type. First, if you select this, okay, the thin wood in only one direction, like this one, it's fine. But if you want to use, for example, let me just give you a bigger view. See, but if you want to use this kind of with the big nodes or with the big nodes of the patterns, maybe it's hard. Yeah, you can use it, but it's hard to find out the proper boundary of the seamless stitch. That's why actually first we select using this one. Okay, and then you can first activate this seamless stitch, and then you can have a proper solution. So now you see the default setting it is with the certain boundary, right? It's not so maybe not that proper to be used. So you can use the seamless stitch, okay? And then you can see the result. We do have a kind of square, rectangle. Then you can drag, yeah, to select the proper areas, and then you can click, okay? So just pay attention. This is some easy tool. It's not so precise for the pattern pattern preparing. If you really want that really precise preparation, you'd better use the third-party tools or the plugins. Okay. So now you see actually from this selection here, it will be really within the boundary connections in different ways. Yeah, which means actually if you put all these elements onto the product, onto the model, they will be fully covered with no boundaries. Yeah, and also you can click regenerate. And most of the time actually is just randomly selecting areas that it fits. So this is a kind of easy plugins. So you can use in the real-time material editor. Yeah, you can try it until you see some changings or combinations that you feel like okay it's available for use, so you can click apply. And also just pay attention about this plugin with the simulate stitch. We also have the equalize brightness, which means sometimes, for example, for the panel or some of the demos, okay, let's say we have some samples of the demo of the wood patterns. Then if you don't have like the screen the scanners, you don't have that scanner machines, you have to use your cell phones or the cameras to just take the photo. Then what you have is just a kind of picture, but with the flashings. So you will see some area maybe too dark on the corner, but here the center is overexposure. So you need to check about this, okay? If it is the thing, you can activate the open. So if open, the system will also give you a proper adjustment for the dark corner and the overexposure zones. So just pay attention about it. But for example, here I got the or I already have this kind of scanning result. So I just need to close it, okay, to click apply, and then you can check again, check again about this if it is proper. So waiting for the uploadings and then check about it. You see, now it's suitable for all the connection, okay, surface. But of course, you can see here for the default setting of it, since here we already limit the area. Before that is very big, right? Like the 500 millimeter times two, like 2 point something. I forgot the 2 1 several meters. That's big. But now we limited them into only 1,000 millimeter times 1,000. So which it is small. So if you want, you can also change. For example, with the different or with the proper size. This is something really exact. The deckers, for example, I just roughly give you the result. And as you can see, yeah, that would change. That would change also accordingly. Of course, if you want, you can have a very big one. Let's say here, give you the demo. But Maximize, we support only 5,000. Okay, for example, I type 6,000, and then you will see here. Oh, sorry, we just maximize for the okay for the 10. Okay, so 10,000. But if you turn too much, you will see the different ratios. You will see it turns to bigger. And also just pay attention because it is just limited. So you'd better check about the precise ratios. Yeah, for the default setting, of course here change to panel. And you can see, yeah, don't get too much. Sometimes you don't have to make a really big one. So just pay attention about it. Let me change back, maybe for 3. Yeah, now it's proper. See, for the pattern for like the door panels, you see, now we have it. We already have that. And also the second thing is to check about the bump map. Here, you can turn to the bump, and actually you see while changing the diffuse, which means the default picture, you can just take diffuse as the default pictures, and then you can turn to, for example, bump, and what you see now is already settled. And if you want to change that, yeah, you can add up the bump scale. And don't forget here, 0 means really flat. Okay, nothing will change the result. But if you turn more, okay, this means actually it will just run down accordingly to your black and white picture for the default setting from diffuse. Okay, from the diffuse. So you can see, yeah, with the different dimension. See now changing. Yeah, it will also change the different dimensions. For example, the negative, the minus, okay, the negative index, it means actually changing the directions, okay, and here also. So just pay attention there. Let's say here, I need to have some. For example, I just need a 5, yeah, with a very limit, yeah, the limit pattern of the bumping. And then I can turn back, for example, to the reflections or to the reflection roughness. But these two is fine. For example, here you can also see some of the like the high growth patterns. See, actually it comes from here. Of course, you can reset or you can upload your preference, but don't upload here, okay? Don't use this default profile to upload because they are already different, right? They are already different. Most of the time, I suggest you just upload black or white. Yeah, for example, a pure black or pure white, it's fine. But most of the time you see 0, it's fine. Yeah, it is it's none of the changings. So just pay attention with that. And also reflection glossiness as well. So you see, this one, it will change to, for example, with the angle. This is really with the high gloss. And here, it feels like it's already matte. So pay attention about this. Okay, of course you can turn to controlling from the wall to the plate or the like the wall panels like that. You can check about this. Yeah, this is the result. Okay, later we'll talk about more. So just pay attention about some changing and the methods, changing method results. And then if you already finished that, save. Of course, saving the this is saving result. Okay, name you don't need to you just changing whatever you want. Render catalog, for example, is it for wall, the wood panel, for even patterns, for others you can select. Okay, but here I think you need to know one very useful tips. uh, if you really want to use it widely, let's say it's not only, for example, it's not only for furnishing, but also for finishing, and even, for example, for the patterns for wildly everywhere you want to use. So you can click here to select the furnishing. Okay, for public material, sometimes you can't find it in the custom modeling. Yeah, I already received the questions from your side. Some of you already asked about what is the difference between public material and the furnishing. Now here, give you the official answer. You can select furnishing, then you can also use it to do as the normal material brush. Using the material brush, even cross the the furnishing to the custom modeling. Yeah, I will save here and show you a demo. It's really helpful to use it. It's not only in the furnishing, but also you can use it in the finishings and even for custom modeling. So you can click this one. For public material, it's only show mainly to the furnishing material, but you can't directly use in the finishings. So just pay attention about it. Also, not able to use in the custom modeling. So you can take a look for the result. Save in with a different. Okay, now the folders. If you have that, you can just click. Okay, texture as well. Confirm, and then it already saved the result. Of course, you can save as some more template because you see here we have the enterprise template. For example, this time, okay, I have this changing the modification result, but I'm not so satisfied with that. Then I can turn back to enterprise template to save. You can just name it, okay, whatever you want. Folder not classified. Okay, now you save one template for your own for next time using. So you can check about it in the enterprise catalog. Okay, so this also will you see here. Now I also have it, right? So just pay attention about this. Okay, so once I select, I save that. Okay, I refresh this one. I'll show you the result. Yeah, I'm now showing you this. Okay, roughly put one thing. Put the I just put the enterprise. Okay, yeah, this is normal model. So where we upload it, right? Grand thin wood. Okay, this one. Can I put it? Of course. Okay, can I put that? Material editor. Now this finishings, right? Material editor. Yeah, I can do it. For example, click. Okay, click. Let's just give you a roughly changing. Okay, just take a sample. So grand wood, you can see with the PBR, means the physical based rendering, but it's also directly related to our real-time material editor, the result of real-time material editor. And also it means actually once you change, for example, I just change into this material, and I can also do second time real-time changing here, the index. Yeah, you don't, which means you don't have to turn back to do the modification. No, you just need to use this real-time material editor changing. They are all the presetted index here. Okay, so you can directly use. Click finish, and then it also change. Yeah, give us 0 seconds to upload. You see, and also just now we talked about the tool material brush. Can I use that? Of course. You see, I can also give the pattern. And that's not the thing. That's not the end. You see, I can turn to the advanced tool. Sometimes you already ask, oh, so how can I use in the custom modeling? Can I use those as well? So let me show you. In custom modeling, of course, you can directly to build out something, but you also raise the question about how can I change the material? Is it proper to get the result directly? So this time I would like to show you that. For example, you finish building out anything, and then if you turn to the material brush, our last updating, okay, last updating for the tool is already contained with this. See, you can even do the paving or do the brushing exactly as same as the normal model. This is some normal model. This already there. So you got this one? Is it okay for you? So this is the okay, this is the thing, okay, from the beginning, board, okay, and also the same with the stones. Yeah, of course, with the stones, you know, sometimes you want the patterns, want to really matte feelings, and actually, if you want it, certainly use the bump. Still the same. Let's turn back. Yeah, let's turn back. For example, the stone. Okay, but also just pay attention. Um, you might have the question that why in the material template catalog we have two stones. Here, this is the stone, and here we also got a stone. It's just due to some translation errors. Actually, this would be, I would like to call it uh, ceramic. Yeah, so this is some for the ceramic tiles, okay? But actually, these are different. This is for like the marbles, the gowns, for the different, okay, the rock panels, you can use this one. Also, we do have some with the high gloss. So you can just select. Actually, for here, the stones, I would like to share with you another. This is first, okay, for the tips. Mainly just pay attention about these two, and then you know how to do it. The second thing is the ceramic tiles, okay? So this also the question, this is also the question that frequently being raised up and then asked one again and again, and then you keep talking about that. Okay, this keep discussing about this. So how can we control the ceramic tiles that result from pure polish or to the softness or to, for example, the really matte feelings. So you have these actually the results, right? The different status. But actually, the changing is to understand the difference between the reflections and the reflection glossiness. So actually, you need to control these two, and it's fine. It's enough. Okay. So how to understand that? It's easy. So let me show you. For example, I give I choose one with the high gloss. Yeah, this one would be easier for you to understand. So roll up to take a look. Now the status, you see, the reflection. What's the big difference between the reflection and the reflection glossiness? Okay, so first you can control it to see. Now it's controlling here, you see, it's controlling the brightness. Okay, is it very pure, uh, clear to see, or just half transparent? See, this is the brightness, but the clearness of the content, it's not changing. Okay, the content of the reflection is not changing. It's still in the status, okay, in the status. But if you turn back, for example, okay, let me refresh. Hope it's fine for your site. Just now it's gone. Wait for my yeah, and I may refresh. Do the refreshing. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I can leave it another. And by the way, actually, you can see here give you a very easy material. Yeah, actually, you can save this link for the material editor. Yeah, this is a kind of independent link. It's the result. And the preset is available to be seen. So let me just take this sample for the brightness changing. Okay, it's just controlling the highlight, but the reflection glossiness is actually the thing to control the clearness. Okay, fail to load. I think there's something wrong with the internet. Hope it don't bother your site. Uh, is it okay for your site? Well, suddenly it seems that the internet is now no loading. It's really slow. Okay, material. Loading. Is it okay for your site? Yeah. Just now, I believe I just suffer from the net lag. Yeah, it's really slow there. The really slow internet. But now I think it's fine. It's already fine for your side. Is it okay? Can you see my Sophia, the texture Sophia? Yeah. Okay, so you can see we have the reflection. Okay, just now we've talked about it. Is it bright or is it far less bright? And also control with the reflection glossiness. Okay, you control with the brightness. See, now if you turn this brightness lower, you can see now it feels like it's already matte, right? And also control with reflections. Now you can see it contains far less reflections and reflection glossiness, dual, okay, dual reflection. Even sometimes if you control it too much, it will feel like watching at the water surface. Yeah, and then of course you can get a re-render, about the result. Yeah, you can take a look about the sunlight. Yeah, so that's why how we control it. Yeah, let me change here. You see, now it's really precise, really clear on the reflection because I changing the brightness and also the glossiness. Yeah, if I want to really want to make it matte, let's see, lower, get a render, see the result, right? So you can control accordingly. Yeah, you can control it accordingly. Is it okay for you? Is it okay for you? This part, yeah. The most important thing for the tiles, for the ceramic, actually is these two, reflection and the reflection glossiness. Yeah, and of course you can have the bump. Yeah, if you want, you can also add some bump. Bump, you see our default setting here is nothing here, default setting. If you want, you can upload, or if you want, you can replace. In our system, we already preset some of the demos. If you want, you can use it. And also we have the previous uploadings. You can use that as well. So let's just change that with some suitable demos. Let me give you a proper one. Let me check which is proper. No, this is not for that much precise. Okay, assume that we have this. So you can see not that much. Normally 5 is enough. You can see we also can have some of the certain, you see, the matte fillings, yeah, with the bump. So actually it controls. Yeah, still it can control. For example, now let me get a re-render, changing for the floors, let's say. Now you see, yeah, with a little bit different matte point. So that's how we do it actually. Yeah. After that, you can just directly to save. Okay. So this will be a proper way for you to try to control with the specific, okay, ceramic tiles. The key thing, okay, remember reflection and the reflection glossiness. And of course, you can either use map or the numeric value. Okay, if you have, for example, if you have those maps, okay, the map is prior. If you have the map, you can upload, you can change. But if you only have for the colors or the index here, you can also control here with the certain detail numeric. Okay, my personal preference, I will choose map first because if I have that default setting like the black and white, for example, the black and white, actually I can control with for the certain detail, right? So I can upload the black and white picture, then control it. If I don't have, okay, so I just use roughly with the numerical map. But most of the time, of course, if you want, map this pricing. And then let me let's control for the next, okay? So the third one, the fabric, curtain, and window screen. This kind of thing is easy to understand. Don't confuse. Okay, actually, they are a series of the same in the same catalog, because you see, actually, we do have for the transparency. Yeah, this is something alongside with the bump as well. So when you turn to the using, for example, fabric. Yeah, these actually they are normal. You can directly use, you can upload, and of course, don't forget we do have for the diffuse. Yeah, for diffuse you can change the VR color, the hue, the saturations, yeah, accordingly. And by the way, here I have one of the suggestion for your side. It's not written in our screen, but you can take it as the suggestion. If you really want to um, have a precise outcome of the real-time material editor, of course, you need to have one real product demo in your hand, and then compared with your, let's say, laptop screen or computer screen. And also not only one screen, at least two or more, because you need to also get a well control of the hue or saturations, all this contrast of your laptop screen. Yeah, at least two. And even sometimes we will have adding a more device. For example, for the cell phone, the mobile phone, because you know some of your clients may have the viewing in the portable device. Then you will have to control and compare with those, okay, at least three screens, control comparing the result from the three screens, and then you can have the final proper uh, settings. So this is also the things that you need to take into considering. So you can also have this. This is other normals. They are not transparent, even half transparent. No, they are all just within the fabric. Okay, reflection goes needs, of course, the most important thing, the bump. As you see here in our bump, okay, bump parameters. Actually, we control, okay, we get this score in control with black and white. Yeah, black means, of course, lower uh, status, lower attitude. White means higher. Then you can have the bump scale to control. Of course, you can control to compare with the result. Is more distinct or just really pure flat or with nothing. You see, you can control with that. Most of the time, it's not zero. Most of the time, it's not zero because they are fabric. They don't have the different height, okay, in a very, really precise position difference. And here you can check about we do have that half transparent, for example, lace or gauze. So these also are those selections. Of course, you can change, for example, to curtain, to some other suggested models you can see. And we do have it for the transparency. Yeah, because you can, why you can see that see through it is because it is half transparent, and then you can also control, okay, you can also control with this, okay, within this index uploading. You just need to upload black and white. And also don't forget here, actually we do have more selection for the name, but it's really strange for the window screen. I'm not sure on your side if it is the correct translation. Here we do have, yeah, in the window screen, then you have all these elements. You can select and then change. Yeah, you can see actually it will turn to the proper, okay, proper suggestions, and then diffuse also go along with the bump. You see, this also from the uh, diffuse, okay, the diffusions of the um, model, and also we have the opacity. Yeah, if you control with the numeric value, you see, now it's controllable for the effect. Yeah, you can just directly change that. Is it thin? See, for example, for the fabric, the material. This one, okay, it's thick, right? It's very with far less transparent. But if you turn to here, it's very thin, almost hardly can be seen. Yeah, till for example, 0.2. See, it's really thin. So it can control by this opacity, but also you can control by the transparent. Let me turn back to the whisper. Yeah, fabric. Here you can see it's not opacity now for the less. Here it turns to the transparency. Yeah, and then you can also see the result. So this will be the available. Yeah, it's very slow now. You can try yours here. It's also black and white to control. Black means you can't let the light go through. White, you can let the white light go, but white is not able. So just changing the different status. You see, black color means you can allow the light come across, but for the white part, not. So you can upload yours. Okay, is it fine for you? Bump as well. You see, if you want, you can change for more distinct, yeah, more obvious results. So this is the less. So is it okay? Fabric, of course, for the curtain. Just pay attention about this index. Yeah, is it okay for you? If you, of course, if I have any other questions, you can just directly ask. Yeah. And actually, I know sometimes if directly describing those words via text is hard. Yeah, if you have any questions or the certain demand of your material, I actually suggest you can leave comments in our record. Okay, we do have these replay videos after we finish the course. You can just leave your message, but if you can have it, it would be much better if you can have the pictures, even though with the outer the link outside YouTube. You can also just leave with that and then give us some suggestion or comments or some demanding of the certain material, the elements. Yeah, we can discuss for further changes. Okay, so this is the fabric. Okay, and then we turn to, for example, the glass and mirror. This will be quite a lot. The topic that quite a lot of you already mentioned before. Yeah, the key thing is to control like this. Yeah, how can we just make it not feeling like with a big refractions? You can have like a pure transparent or even no disturbing of the light path, right? Because you see now it's already reversed because it's a really strong refraction within the glass, right? Okay, so here we do have that thing. It's not the reflection, it's the refraction. Yeah, in glass mirror, almost all of the elements, all of the material template, they contain this one. They contain the refractions. Okay, and before that, I would like to mention one thing is that the rail tracing the ray tracing. Okay, the ray tracing where we can find that is here. You see, we turn to the glass. The plastic is easy. You just need to select and then choose because we do have quite a lot. Okay, if you have questions later, we will talk about it. Glass mirror. You see, you have so many different glass. I just roughly select one. For the frequently being used is the white glass. Okay, the white glass. And then you can see now the render scene already changed to the glass. You can have the reflections, you can change the reflection grossness, and one thing more, refractions. Yeah, before that, you can see now we have one more button called the ray checking, the ray tracing. Once you activate this, you can see. Now this is something we see from the picture, right? Something we see from the picture with the huge refractions. Even sometimes, if you choose some of the models, for example, some of the sliding doors, glass sliding doors, then you see some of the boundaries. It shows really ridiculous light angles. That actually it means the refraction need to be adjusted. Okay, need to be adjusted. So you can turn here refraction. The default setting is pure. Okay, it's a pure color. You need to pay attention here. The refractive index, and you need to control it. For example, if you want to make it pure transparent, click 1. Okay, and you see now it's directly can see the result. There's no other disturbing of the light. Directly see the result. Okay, 1.0. Yeah, what if happen turn to here like a 0.5? Yeah, it's in reverse. Okay, in reverse, but it's in the same position. So just pay attention about this one. 1.0. Okay, and if you want to make it pure transparent, even know this without the grossness, you can control with the reflection. Okay, you can also control it for 0. You see reflection. If there's certainly no any reflection, pure disappear. Yeah, grossness 0 as well. Then you can see the material is gone. Yeah, the only reflection is from the upper side of the light. So you can see. What does it mean? What do you know? What does it mean? Do you know what does it mean? Actually, you can create some of the material called air, right? If you turn some of the material turn to air, which means actually you can just hide them away, right? That will be happened for this scenario. Let me show you one. Yeah, this is kind of a tricky game because um, quite a long time ago, we already received that demanding of, for example, I prefer one or two of the set of the model, but I dislike some of the deckers. Can I hide them away? Right? From the public library, it's from your enterprise library. From the public library, sometimes you don't like some of the deckers. Can I make it disappear? So the question is, yes, you can do it. Yeah, but certainly with some of the tricky skills. So this time I would like to let you know, for example, you will see, okay, material editor. For example, I want something disappear. For example, I want this one to be totally disappear. Now it's with certain materials, or this one or this one. Okay, you can either use that. You can click now. Before that, I already upload some of the material, just exact the same. Call me air. So I change that into air. You can click that render. Actually, here almost nothing. See, this is the way to let them disappear directly. This one as well, this one as well. So you can take a look. This is also the material replacement. You can get a quick result. And also we have the quick access real-time material creation. You can click also enter, and then you can have the result almost gone. Yeah. Now in that tricky way, see? So you know how to delete that, right? Yeah, I do the re-render, and then this one will also shows that the fruit is also gone. Okay. Is it helpful for you? Is it a kind of a way that may bring you the help? I would like to name it as the call me air. Yeah. Every time if I want to do something, I can use that. You see? Now fruit and the decor disappear. You can also try yours. If it is fine, I'll continue. I believe now you know something. You learn something. Okay. Yeah. By the way, don't forget here you can change refractions temporarily. Change to yeah others. You can see if you don't want just totally let them gone 1.0. Okay. So this is for the glass, and of course you can see yeah there are more glasses, more material related to the glass catalog, something like this one. Okay, this also can be conducted by the template. For example, here glass. Still, we have, for example, for the yeah the reeded glass. Yeah, then you can see that these are yeah you can see the slot. You can see the different patterns and also frost, and even for the laminated. Yeah, sometimes you might have the result, you might have the demand for the laminate. This is the result actually combined with two different materials. Okay, it's one is the pure or half transparent, another is just pure color. Then the key thing is that you need to also upload with the certain pattern. The pattern is also controlled by black and white. For example, for the different area, it contains the different transparency. For example, for the black area, it only allows, for example, the one color goes. So that's why here you see coming through with the pure color. Another area will be uh, almost um, disturbing by the color, disturbing by the area of the white color. So actually you can use this to control. Yeah, and these two things actually is some normal colors you can upload. Yeah, this also will be a solution for combination. Later we will have another thing called the paintings. Also, you can also use like the similar way. This is the combination. Yeah, this is combined by two color and one pattern, like the channel. Yeah, you use the channel to control the area. So this will be also helpful for you. Okay, just pay attention. This also in glass it contains one. Okay, and moreover you can see these like the glass and the metals. You see the metal film or the gray glass. Yeah, just to try to use. This will be really uh, a kind of a kind of a game, the creation game of a creation. You can see actually using the bump is also available for controlling. Yeah, and actually for the frosted, you see the frosted, we also controlled by the bump. Yeah, but it's just very thin, very detailed for the bumping. You can use the replacement to try some of the default settings. Yeah, and then you can see some results. Yeah, just feel that. Yeah, even if you don't save them, it's still fine. Yeah, just try the different results, and then you can see. Okay, so this will be how much we already have. One, two, three, four. Okay, is it okay for you? Just pay attention that we have the ray tracking. Okay, the ray track. the ray tracing, and it will help. And also don't forget the size. Yeah. Seamless marble. Okay, first, for the seamless marble text, here, let me show you. For example, still with the better select, okay, select the, let's say, marble, okay, and then you can upload. So for example, here I do have two kind of, okay, the stone panel. Let's say here I use the stone panel, white. And if you have too many patterns, see here, this is another demo with so many different patterns. Just pay attention to select the area. Try to let the system can get a well seamless stitch, okay? First, upload, and then you can use the seamless stitch. Yeah. The default setting, I believe, is not the continue. Let me check with the square. See? Yeah. The boundary is obvious, can be obviously seen. So seamless stitch, just click and then select a proper area. Yeah. And then click and check. Yeah, I believe now it's more continually because the system automatically select a similar area like this. Yeah, it's not a very big one. And here, because it's too dark, too distinct, yeah, too independent, so it's abandoned. This area is abandoned, so it's the, I think it's here, the area. The system selected it here, and then apply. And now you can check in the sphere. Well, this finished. This is some seamless stitch. Of course, turn it bigger. Of course, the default setting 1 meter times 1 meter is too small. Yeah, 2.5, let's say 2.5 meter, 2.5 meter, and make it bigger. You will see, yeah, more natured, vivid looking. And then you can just control the reflection, bump, ignore that. Yeah, because sometimes for marble, you don't have to do the quite matte feelings. Okay, and then save. And another was that decayed material, deco. Oh, deco material. What is the deco material? Like I'm not sure if you're talking. I'm not sure the deco you mean is related to like this. Let me select one for you. Kind of a choice from the other. For example, like this one. Yeah, digging holes. They contains quite a lot of holes there. I'm not sure if you're talking about that, okay? Or you can turn to fabric. Yeah, I remember in fabric we do have that similar, like the let me choose this one, like glouse, transparent to control. Mm, these two to control. Yeah, just this one is very thin, very small. The gap. If you want, you can choose, for example, the bigger one, even the boundaries. Yeah, to control. Just pay attention about the using. For example, you use exactly the same. Yeah, in diffuse, reflection glossiness is fine. But bump transparent, you use the same result, and I believe it shows like the proper one. Oh, let me Let me select. I'm not sure if it is like that, like this one, or like this one. Yeah. I can roughly to download one thing for you to show. Pure flat white colors. I just roughly download something. Let me try here. I'm not sure if you're talking about this one. Downloading this one. Mhm. Replace as well. Still is ongoing. Yeah, something similar like that. Okay. Even if you really want some more precise, you can use like the here, like the bamboo weaving. You can also change. Actually, they are the same logic. You see the opacity as well. You can control it with black and white. So this will be the solution. See, black, totally transparent. Okay, white is abandoned. The the light path is abandoned, so you can see. Yeah, and diffusion as well. The diffuse. So control combining with these three, you can make it properly. Yeah. Or if you want to have the sticker, I don't think if you don't have to make like this. That may be too complicated. My suggestion is to use the PNG. I believe I have one. You see here, for example, this is the PNG file. Yeah, the background here, the background, they are transparent. Yeah, this you choose the transparent model, and then you leave the main picture. Yeah, and then when you do the uploadings, when you do the uploadings, you can directly upload like as the anything like the maybe here. Yeah, geometry board, plastic, or even for the wallpapers. Yeah, for wallpapers it's fine. For example, I just show you some pure paper. Yeah, pure paper and upload. I believe I already upload one. Yeah, this one, for example, the PNG. And then you can see only with the pictures, right? And other rest is transparent. And if you want to put it onto the glass, you can have two solutions. First, you create with the custom modeling, create one or two the faces, and then place the material. Or you can select the glass mirror. Yeah, we do have there for the glass mirror. You can put with the laminate, okay, resin glass. This will also be the solution. And what you need to do is to upload, yeah, to upload the reflections. Where's my here? So you can also select the proper one. by controlling the index. Yeah, the fields here you can replace to, for example, color. This is pure black, pure white. Yeah, by those controllings, you can try the different index or texture grass. Yeah, you can have so many different changings of the results. Yeah, it's up to you. I don't know which kind of uh, the exact result that you want, but here I believe for those choices, it's fine for you. You can select. Yeah. So this is the way. Okay. And for some more, for example, the luminous. Yeah, this will be a kind of scenario of using, for example, for the outside, the advertisement board with the light inside, or if you want to control the material on the TV, the television screen, or sometimes, for example, you have the more outside designing or with the panel designing inside, for example, those lights inside the back panel to light up the bar area of the back panels. So you can also use the luminous body, right? But by the way, talking about the customizings, okay, talking about customizings, you can't just actually create in real-time material editor. And you need to turn to, for example, the backstage, the enterprise catalog, okay, just pay attention. We have the custom product. You need to create here product catalog. Yeah. And then you can here click to change. For example, uh, create the material here. This is the material, create a set, materials. Then you have, here. Also, we do have the real-time material editor. You can also create in here, but it's only available for customizing because it's under the custom product catalog. Okay, then you can use it. So just pay attention about the difference. But using method is exactly the same. So let me turn this finished. So let me turn back to, for example, the materials. This one. Okay. You can click luminous. In luminous, we have in total two things. So first is the luminous body. The luminous body is only just one. Okay, one of the pure light up balls. Let me refresh that. Yeah, it comes to net net lag again. Yeah, you see? Yeah, and here you can not only control, for example, for the light, you see the color with the light. Yeah, you can also control with the different hex or the RGB index. Most of the time, for example, if you want, you can change the color for the light using. Let's say we have some light strip, we have some light bulb, yeah, with those very old time light bulbs. So you can control it, but just pay attention. The luminous energy 1.0 actually is almost nothing. Yeah, it's not lighting up, obviously. If you want, you can control it to uh, more with the more energy, let's say 2 to 3, even 3 to 5. Most of the time, I use the 3.5 for the normal light strip. Yeah, if you want it to be more light up, even very very shining, like the really strong light, you can turn to 8. And then you can see as you turning up the luminous energy, here the color will be far less distinct. You see? Yeah, with the energy changing. So you'd better make a proper control with the light. So you can control with the light hue, just changing here. Okay, combine them together about it. And also we do have the opacity changing as well. Okay, and this is not the end. The key thing is that if you want to make it with the proper content, for example, like this, you can here upload the picture. Yeah, you can upload the pictures. For example, sorry, this is opacity. I just make a reset. 0. Turn to here. The luminous. Wait again. Refreshing. Luminous. Yeah, here. Upload. Now you can see actually this is 1.0. When I turn to 3, it's already content light, right? And then you can control with the index. This is the luminous energy. Yeah, for the transparent or for the opacity, if you want, you can also check about the outcomes. But most of the time, I don't suggest you change this one. Yeah. So you can save that and then you can have the light up. Okay. So this will be the luminous body. Yeah, you can make a control for the television around the 3.5. 3 is enough because it's not too bright. But for the outside advertisement board, like the billboards, you can make it more clear, brighter. Okay, just pay attention. The index is fine. And some other useful functions here, for example, uh, just give you some of the useful ways. Yeah, it's all related to more and more complicated choices. For example, for the others, you see here, just continue with this topic. You can not only upload here is only the pictures, right? You can also upload what? The MP4. Here you can see. Yeah, if you want to have the vivid looking of a television showing the content, you can upload not only PNG or JPEG, but also MP4. When you do this, let me show you. For example, now click dynamic, or in others, click dynamic luminous, and then you can here to upload the MP4 profile. Okay, for example, for the television, of course, it's not only just lighting up, but also it contains the activate the content, right? So you can here dynamic luminous upload. You see, for example, I have one of the MP4 file, and you see now it's moving. Yeah, for the luminous, let's say 3 with the light. See, when you save this file, then you can really have that. Normally 2 is actually is enough. You don't have to make that quite bright. See, this is the content. Yeah. The maximum size for the uploading available, I believe, I remember the index is around 50 megabyte. Yeah, the size. Don't make it too big. Yeah. And then you can control and to have some result. Let me show you like this. You see? Yeah, this is just the dynamic pattern. the time dynamic textures. And in the roaming video, you can have something like this. It's controllable. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, in the other dynamic luminous template. Okay, and also with some more combinations. For example, for the here universal template, the dual material, you can combine. Still, you can combine with different material. This is the first layer. Okay, some matte first, the upper layer and the second layer, and then using the layer channel to control the same logic. Okay, the same logic. You can also see some of the results similar like this. Let me show you this one. See, this is the universal template. You can see there's not only the pure color, but also with the tiny dot with the different colors, with the different materials. You can control by the universal template. Yeah, and don't forget the channel. Yeah, the layer channel to control. Also, the logic here is shows uh, the black. The black is for the first layer, and the second is for the white is for the second layer. First layer is the basic color. The second layer is for the dot, and then use the channel to control. That's the logic. You can try. You can try your own for example, the decorated wall. Decorated floors, and also here we do have a way to control, but it's not only for the bump. Yeah, this is called a replacement. You can control the exact height of the the mat area. Let me show you this one. This is in the outside, the outdoor. You see, we cut the cobblestone. Okay, as you see now, it already contains the index. Yeah, and then you can see it's not diffused, reflection. They are all the default settings. But here you can have a bump normal and a replacement. Yeah. With the bump normal, you can see actually this file is from the 3ds Max. Yeah, this from the 3ds Max. It's called the normal scale. Yeah, you can control with the different saturation and also the different light coming dimensions. You see, and that's not the end because you have the replacement. This will finally allows you to have more obvious, okay, pricing of the placing. So you can also control this displacement to mute. See, and making a really vivid looking of the different height. Yeah. So just try on your side. Just try on your side. Here, this is also something you can use, and also controlled by black white picture. Okay. Yeah. So this is for outdoors. There are quite a few interesting material template you can try. You can try to control. Okay. So hope you can find some more creations. Okay. Not just satisfied by those elements. Try to create yours. Okay. Some more paintings or art, floorings. Also it shows here. Okay. By the way, talking about the floorings, nowadays actually in our uploading methods, we support this. Let me show you. In paving, yeah. And in paving, when you want to create a new paving, you can see, for example, for flooring, frequently we use the multi-faces. And then when just assume that we have these two kind of combination, okay? Holding down control button, select them. And when you do the uploading, now the system already uh, use allows us to use the material catalog, see, real time. And then when you finish the uploading, for example, or you all finish this one, you change in the default pattern to gray brick, anything here, you change and then save. Then you can turn, for example, turn back to the, let me show you the design. Flooring editing. Yeah, I already have prepared one. Just show you the paving, for example, here. Okay. And what you have, this is also available for the real-time material editing is in here. You can also temporarily to control by the real-time material editing of the index. Is it enough reflection, or is too bright, or is available for the bumpings? So you can also have it. Yeah, just pay attention about that. Now we already support the pavings, even the pavings, okay, within the real-time material editor. So it's a kind of ways to also control it. Okay. Okay. So far, I think it's quite a good way to help you to know some of the useful tips in our real-time material editor. Yeah, really hope that you can enjoy using this to create. Yeah, to create that thing, rather than just using some basic uploadings and don't know how to do the material changing once you see something this not satisfied. Okay. And also if you have more requirements or comments and questions, you can find the note, okay, the notice guys or the feedback to us. All right. So I think that's all for today, and hope you can enjoy your exploring in Coohom. Yeah, I believe we can have the next time content, maybe from some more interesting content. Yeah, the final thing here, hope that you really can leave us with the message, with the comment, or the requirements, not only with text but with pictures. Yeah, even with the third party links under the YouTube channels. Okay, we hope to discuss with you for more uh, interesting creations. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thanks for coming and listening, and I think we can see you next time. Bye bye.